Welcome back. Andreas and I had met in Strasbourg, driven through the Gotthard Tunnel, camped on Lake Como, camped in the hills of Emilia-Romagna, camped on board the ferry from Ancona to Igoumenitsa, Greece, spent some great times on the beaches of northern Greece and in our favourite taverna Tosteki, before a brief trip to Vasiliki on Lefkada, flying home from Preveza to pick up Archie to return for one last night in Greece, Montenegro, and stopping at Budva for a night by the beach. Good morning from Budva in Montenegro, south of Croatia. We're heading north this morning towards Croatia. We'll cross the border and we're going to try and stop at Dubrovnik for at least for lunch, hopefully for a few hours. So we're heading that way, north into the mountains again. This is a park for night spot. It's just behind a little beach outside of Budva on the coast. Interesting beach resort, nothing special, but this was very convenient for €3 for the night. And it was very quiet, thankfully, and we're going to head off now. It's 8 AM. I need to get some cash. Going to get the rear diff looked at to see if it needs oil because it's making a bit of a noise, and then we'll hopefully be in Dubrovnik for lunch. Just heading around the water near Kotor. We're taking the shortcut across the ferry. Beautiful morning. Another little ferry. Down here along the bays of the north of Montenegro, just north of Kotor. So that was the border, and we're back into, well, we're into Croatia. It's just a line on a map, nothing more exciting. Oh, here we go, look, Dwayne, this must be it. Yes, this is more like it. EU regulations, legislation, so no problems, quick check of passports, and we're on for another 38 kilometres to Dubrovnik. So we were wrong, I was wrong. This is the EU border into Croatia from Montenegro. We're technically in no man's land. Been waiting here for a while, enjoying our nuts.
Yeah, I'm back to that one.
Trying to write some journal, mummy honest. And we have, I promise, only had one of these for breakfast.
Yeah, have a look. There's 4 missing.
What do you?
They're all dead.
Yeah, right. Thanks. Okay. Welcome back to the EU Arch.
Yeah.
And we're heading to Dubrovnik. You can see Dubrovnik right at the other end of the bay there. walls of Dubrovnik, old town, from the van. I feel like we've kind of done Dubrovnik now. Still would like to have somewhere to stop for lunch, but it's looking a bit tricky. Very brief break at Dubrovnik, just because the city was too busy to park in. So we had coffee and grabbed some lunch, and we're heading on north towards Split. Pretty massive cruise liner right here by the road. I wonder where they're heading. It's just loading up. Onwards and upwards. Bye-bye Dubrovnik. It's all too brief. What's the update? Come on.
Drawing flags.
We're drawing flags, but what happened to the van?
Oh yeah, the van broke down. Well, it didn't break down.
No.
We were told to not drive it.
That's right, we were saved from potential breakdown. And now we are, where are we staying?
We're in a hotel.
We're in a hotel. Do you like this music?
Very Mexican.
Huh?
Very Mexico.
Mexico, yeah. Yes, we have a mojito cocktail.
Yeah.
Say hello to my little friend. So we're in a hotel until Monday. Saturday, basically, the mechanic jumped in the van, had a drive, and said you shouldn't be driving this. He almost, I'm sure he said in Croatian, it's probably, it wouldn't surprise me. But the good news is that he thinks he can fix it, and apparently there's even a differential guy who might have the parts. I mean, I just knowing how VW diffs are hard to get hold of parts for, I really doubt that will happen. But anyway, insurance is paying for 2 nights in a hotel. The insurance is paying for 2 nights in a hotel. We're in a place called Naum, N-A-U-M, which is just inside Bosnia, north of Dubrovnik, but south of, well south of Split, about 6 miles. And we are, so we have some downtime. We have the whole of tomorrow to do nothing, and actually we're at quite a nice beach. It's not the best time of day to look at the water, but the water is beautifully clear, and it's an amazing little bay, pan round. We're going to get the most amazing sunset, hopefully, over the hills. And we're just about to have pizza and mussels grown in the bay behind us. So we're making the most of it, and we'll find out on Monday whether the van can be fixed or it needs to be repatriated again.
I don't want to be there the second time.
You don't want to do what?
I want to go home.
You want to go home? So Archie's hoping that we'll have to be repatriated, so we have to just leave the van and fly back. Although it's still a lot of driving, I'm kind of thinking that I wouldn't mind taking 2 more days off work, even though I can't afford it. So if they can fix it with a 2-day delay, then I'll just have to cancel the end of my working week next week to finish the drive back. So we'll see. It's up in the hands of the gods.
Like if you want it to be, whatever that said, like if you want it to be fixed.
Yeah, a like for fixed. Thumbs up for fixed, and thumbs down for
Not fixed.
not fixed. Anyway, so
That's bad, because then you get dislike for not real.
yeah, indeed.
That's bad.
Only one way to go. The trip continues.
Up or down.
Otherwise, your journal is. What are we going to do? Day 4 will be the end.
Day 4 the end.
Kind of a 4-day trip to Albania, Montenegro, Croatia, and Bosnia. Anyway, so
Don't listen to him.
we're going to enjoy the sunset. Don't know about you.
You've
lot.
noticed his channel.
So today is the day we'll hopefully hear what's happened with Flo, whether she's got a problem that can be fixed out here or whether she'll have to be repatriated to the UK on the back of a flatbed, as happened 2 years ago in France. We've had 2 nights now in a hotel, quite a nice hotel actually, the Hotel Luna in Neum, N-E-U-M, still on the coast. We're just into Bosnia. The van's just back that away in Croatia, about 20 miles north of Dubrovnik. Quite a good garage, or we hope they are. I think we may have driven too far on an Acca diff for it to be repairable here, but we'll see. So fingers crossed for news before the end of the day, but I think we've probably got at least one more night in the hotel before we then figure out what our travel plans are. So Archie and I are still waiting to hear about the van, whether she's back on the road. Should get a call any minute. It's 1 o'clock on Tuesday. This is the hotel we've been staying in. Perfectly pleasant, but because we don't have our own transport and we've got our own plans, we haven't really done an awful lot. I feel like we've had 2 days of doing absolutely nothing. So I'm planning to be off this afternoon. We haven't checked out of the room yet. They've extended it for us until we're here. I'm going to go and buy some fruit and some provisions, pending having a dinner on the road somewhere tonight. Well, this is a very sad occasion. I'm at Split Airport and I'm just saying goodbye to Archie. He's down there somewhere. I'm not allowed to go through and stay with him, even though this is his first flight on his own. So it's quite a big occasion, but we've been on WhatsApp and phoning each other, and his plane's just landed behind me. So it's a 2-hour drive back. Hoping that the van will be ready when I return, and then I just need to head north. Need really to drive for 8 hours to get into Slovenia so that I can make good progress for the next 2 days and get back on time. So fingers crossed, it's just you and me from here on in, so you'll probably have to excuse some fairly inane rambling while I keep myself interested talking to you on the long drive home. South again, back from Split Airport, where I said goodbye, very sadly said goodbye to Archie. He had to fly back, he's got a party. The insurance will cover the cost of the flight. And I still don't know whether the van's fixed. It's beautiful around here. But I'll be driving back up this way again, hopefully, in a few hours. Don't know if they've got the parts. I don't know why there's been this 3-day extra days of delay to get the parts. Really got my fingers crossed that I'll be on my way today, but I'm feeling quite emotional about a lot of things. Trip coming to the end, 3 days of driving on my own, just saying goodbye to Archie. I don't know where my head's at now. Everything was straight and clear, and I was loving everything about this trip. I'm really looking forward to continuing on the trip and finishing it, but I now have all sorts of mixed emotions. Hey ho, I guess that's part of the journey, right? I miss you though, Arch. Hello, right, so I was told today, about 2 hours ago, 3 o'clock, that I can pick up the van, finally, at 6 o'clock, so I'm driving back about half an hour up the coast to Zaton Doli, the place just before the Bosnian border from the south in Croatia, where there's where the poor Florida has been languishing outside on the roadside outside the garage that Archie and I stopped at all those days ago. So that was Saturday. It's now Friday, so 6 days. It's obviously quite a serious problem. The first diagnosed issue was a set of bearings, or two sets of bearings, one in the differential, one of the wheels. And since then they also discovered that there was a problem with something else, which I'm as yet unsure of. He mentioned the word cardan. There is no cardan shaft in the two-wheel drive LT, but Jed on Facebook, he of CamperVan culture fame, reckons that it could be something to do with the planetary gears. So whatever has happened, they now believe they've fixed it, which is quite a big deal considering I'm 2,500 kilometres from home and it's a 30-year-old vehicle. So as long as they haven't stung me for ridiculous amounts of labour, I'm happy to obviously to pay the cost of the parts, and relieved that they've managed to get me back on the road all this way away from home. Got a couple of beers for them to try and grease the rails, although I'm sure they already know what they're going to charge me, and there is of course no, well, I was going to say no comeback for me, bearing in mind that I needed to have the work done to get going. So I'm just gonna, well, see what happens. I made it very clear what my position was. I made it very clear that this was the last day before I would have to fly home and get the van taken back home on a lorry. But yeah, I'm still really worried about the cost. Anyway, after that I'll be free. I pray that the van will stay in one piece for the rest of the trip. That's the other worry, that they did the job well enough and tightened everything back up well enough. But I have no option but to barrel on. I was supposed to be home by now, so yeah, I was supposed to be home on Wednesday night. It's Friday today. Tonight I was hoping to get to Bled in northern Slovenia, but it's at least 8 hours, especially on a Friday. And that would have allowed me, with about 12 hours drive tomorrow and about 12 hours drive Sunday, to catch the midnight ferry from Dieppe back to New Haven. Everybody's flashing, what's going on? I'm still hoping to make that ferry. I mean, I need to really, because I've got work on Monday, so that'll get me in at 4 AM to New Haven, then it's half an hour drive home. There we go, someone broken down. Otherwise, I'm just going to have to take another day off, and then get a ferry back on Monday at some point. Anyway, oh my god, this guy's got straight into the wall. Jesus, must have been a brake failure or something. It's terrifying. Okay, well, that's the first crash I've seen in 5,000 kilometres or something. Nasty. So wish me luck. I'm half an hour away, and hopefully the next video will be from back inside Flow, and I'll be hurtling north. Hopefully with amazing economy. Maybe this is the reason why Andreas was getting about a fifth of a tank more mileage than I was on the way down. Certainly had a vibration for a while, and I definitely spoke to a few of the guys about like a humming noise from the back there, from one side or the other. So who knows, maybe they've done a brilliant job, and for not an awful lot of money. Either way, I'm bracing myself.